Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so Aries, let's get into a love story and just see what's going on in the realm of love. We have a Queen of Swords, it is sideways. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. I'm wondering if Aries and possibly an air sign think a lot about each other. There could be a little bit of long distance spying. She does have her telescope. Doesn't matter what genders we're talking about, but I'm feeling like somebody might be wishing that they might be checking to see, does Aries check up on me, right? It's like they might be hoping that. Nikki, oh, hi, sweetheart. How are you, love? Myra J, so good to see you. So wonderful to catch you. We have the Five of Cups. Somebody's missing Aries like crazy. Who sings that 1980s track? Because I miss you like crazy. Every night and every day. There's just no getting over you because I miss you. It's a female voice. It's not Whitney. I can't think who sings that. Anyway, guys, so great to see everyone tonight. We got the Seven of Wands. I definitely think they would give anything to hear from Aries tonight. They would give anything. They're waffling between the feminine energy, so the energy of the moon, saying, I'm spying on you, but I'm wishing that you were spying on me. I'm calling your name. I'm calling, energetically, like, please, Aries, think of me, because, God, I'm missing you. And then it's like, maybe I should bend the bars and try to, like, poke my head in and be like, hey, I almost feel like somebody's trying to create an opportunity to accidentally bump into Aries. Like, if they could make that happen. By the way, they may want to bump into Aries without a shirt on, just as a side note. But this feels, Page of Swords. We keep having spying. Why do I think we had another Aries video where there was like a lot of spying going on? Maybe that was a Leo. Oh, I'm so glad, Nikki. Oh, I have been kind of breathlessly waiting to hear an update, but I also wanted to give you your space until you felt comfortable sharing, because I know I'm one who likes to wait until I have better news. But Nikki, you just made my day, and I think everybody else is too. Lots of love to you and your daughter. This feels so like I feel sad for this person because they're so aching for Aries. And they're wishing so much that Aries is aching for them too. They're trying to figure out how I could maybe see Aries. They're getting a little bit more bold. I do think they're coming up with a plan. Like, is there a way that I could maybe orchestrate seeing Aries again? Because right now we got two different ways that they're spying on Aries, with the Page of Swords and with that Queen of Swords energy. And then we have them like poking their head in somewhere. Six of Pentacles. Oh, they want to ask about Aries through another individual. So that might be what they're trying to orchestrate. Maybe I could fumble into somebody that Aries knows. Maybe I can bump into Aries' sister. Maybe I can bump into, somebody that I know is like a mutual acquaintance or something, or a family member. Maybe I'm not on speaking terms with Aries anymore, but maybe I could, stop in at the cafe that I know their family member runs, and maybe casually I can find out some information about Aries. This is definitely seeking, dialogue and truth. What is it that you need to know? What is it that you're trying to find out about Aries? What is this? Are they single? Do they think of me? Yeah, lovers. Did they move on with somebody else? How come you don't just call Aries and ask? How come you don't reach out to Aries yourself? The Fool. They're like, I'm trying to figure out if I can. That's why I'm trying to figure out, what if Aries has a new bluebird in their bed? What if Aries has somebody else? What if they must have a suspicion, or maybe it's just their worst fear, that some other person from Aries past has cycled back into their life. I don't know if there was some friend, because I'm hearing that, is that Bismarck? But you say he's just a friend, and you say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. It feels a little bit like they think that there's some friend of Aries who they believe has always been interested in Aries. And it's like, how much you want to bet? If I'm not on the scene and Aries is a free agent, that person's going to swoop in. aren't bluebirds known for like stealing other birds' nests and driving them out? I do feel like there's a reason that we have the bluebird here. Um, and they're trying to figure out, can I take that leap of faith? Can I just go toward Aries? Or would it be so inappropriate because if Aries is happily ever aftering with somebody else who swooped in after Aries and I either broke up, or since Aries and I haven't talked, they clearly have not been on speaking terms with Aries, but they like to rectify that. But they just don't know, is there a possibility? Has this been a long time since you haven't talked to Aries or what? The World in the reverse, the Knight of Pentacles. So they're like, it feels like no time at all has passed, when in fact a bunch of time has passed, because this is slow moving energy. Okay, so hang on. Why'd you wait so long to try to rectify things with Aries? Especially when it seems like you are banana pants over Aries. Because we ended on a fight. We ended and my heart was hurt. I was hurt, and because Aries got mad at me. And so I feel like they hunkered down and felt sad for a really long time instead of taking initiative to course correct things. Why do you think Aries got mad at you? Eight of Swords, a Magician. I don't know if they weren't really moving things forward between themselves and Aries, or if they kept making maybe some... Sometimes I look at this as somebody who just won't listen to the protective energies that are around them supporting them. So let's say, for example, somebody keeps making really bad choices, choices that would dismantle their life. Maybe this is somebody who's like, I've got a problem, but I won't go into treatment for it. I won't, and maybe Aries was like, you can't lie to me and say that magically everything's going to be fine. You're going to manifest a different future when you haven't done the thing that you've got to do. All the resources are here to help you, but you have to do the thing. Your guardian angels are around you. I really think that this might be one of those things where if they were maybe a little bit self-destructive or something, Aries was like, I'm not going to watch this. This feels like they were ignoring the protective energy that was around them. I think Aries might have been trying to lift them up, but I think they kept blowing some smoke, because sometimes a magician is, well, what does a magician do? They do sleight of hand. They do tricks. They delight and dazzle us. But at the end of the day, they didn't actually create a dove out of thin air. It's trickery. It's sleight of hand. And I'm wondering if that's what Aries was like. You can't just tell me a good line and then continue to not make the significant changes that you need to make for your own well-being. Like maybe this person was, drinking too much or doing something that it wasn't helping their own life, but they also weren't making the change. Now, this could have just been somebody that was maybe procrastinating quite a bit, but I read that card a little bit more deeply, I think, because they're not listening to their little guardian angels, and yet trying to manifest without working with the flow of the universe, or the flow that would be, uplifting and helpful. And I think that got to be too tough on Aries, to the point where Aries was like, I can't, I'm not going to observe this. Yeah, I got to go rest. So I think it kind of was hurting Aries' heart. I think Aries was like, I'm going to go. It wasn't even so much of a fight as it was, I think, Aries saying, it hurts me to see you staying stuck like this. Now I got to go heal from observing what you continue to do. I really think this is not like Aries left them because Aries was oh so angry. This is Aries just needed a break and needed quiet and healing for themselves. I do think it was probably really frustrating. Whether this person was just, not putting much energy into a relationship for whatever their reasons were, I do think they were saying one thing but doing something else. Like nothing they said they had followed through on. And I think that ended up hurting Aries. So Aries withdrew. Now, let me ask this though. I mean, has this person made those changes yet? Because if they have not yet made those changes, how is this going to work out at all? Hey guys, so great to see everybody. We have an Eight of Wands. An Eight of Wands is significant change. It's action taking for sure. Justice card is in the reverse, which for me says things that were wrong have been course corrected. And remember, before they were lodged in one place, maybe they were still living with somebody. Maybe that's what that was. They're like, I mean, yeah, I'm still living with a previous partner, but you and me, Aries, we're going to have this great life together. And Aries was like, you should have already made these changes for you and me. I shouldn't have to tell you. You should have already done these things. That could be the interpretation. I'm suggesting that because now we have the injustice. And let me put it this way. I would not assume that if Aries, look, everybody has their own sovereign right to choose whatever they want, even poor decisions. If this person was like, well, Aries doesn't like that I'm whatever, doing something kind of toxic, but it's my body, I can choose to do what I want with it. I don't really see that Aries would have been like, oh my gosh, this is so disastrous, I have to go heal from it. Might have been a bit of a bummer, but this does make me think maybe when we go to saying something was like cosmically unfair and imbalanced that had to be course corrected, they might have been trying to get Aries to be okay with giving Aries far less than what they deserve because they were, I mean, here it kind of says that they were being lazy. They were staying stuck. And it could be that they were staying stuck, sitting on their butt, staying in, a housing situation or something that made it impossible for them to actually move forward with Aries, even though they talked a good line about doing it. That I could understand why Aries was like, I have to go heal from this. And the fact that they needed to take action and like physically move. We can see like, ooh, fresh energy, fresh air, fresh, complete different location, movement, traveling someplace else. And that is how they're finally course correcting what was wrong. At least they would no longer be asking Aries to, date me, even though maybe I still live with my previous partner. I'm kind of inclined to lean toward that being the stronger storyline right now, because now we have that Justice card. They have course corrected it. I just don't know if it's too late. We have the Star. All I can say is that they've course corrected, but then they are trying to hopefully heal this. This has been a long time, though, right? It's been a long time, long enough that they think Aries might have somebody new in their life. The Aries might be in a new connection. And it does look like they have a habit of procrastinating and being sad and not doing what they needed to. And this person got themselves finally out of jail. I mean, maybe with that Libra card, we're talking about them actually having gotten themselves into some kind of trouble and they had to, pay a debt to society and they just hadn't, basically faced the music until now. All I can say is it's taken a while for them to sort out their life. At this point, it makes sense that they're checking to see, can I even approach Aries, or is Aries, like I said, happily ever aftering with someone else? Would Aries even want to talk to them at this point? Let me just see. We have the World in the reverse. Aries does not feel like this storyline ever ended. Doesn't feel like it was ever completed. So yes, Aries might want to go ahead and talk to them again. Three of Cups, yeah, they want the damn truth. Sorry, I don't know why I want to cuss when I say it, but I want the damn truth. Four of Pentacles. Why'd you hold back? What did you hold back? So maybe Aries never knew all of it. Maybe that's what it was. You're holding back, you're stuck, you're not telling me everything. You tell me what you want me to know, but not the rest of it. That could be. Aries is like, yeah, I never got closure with this person because I never got the full truth. They've all got teacups on their head. This is like, yeah, we should have a conversation about all the things that you didn't either offer me or all the truths that you should have told me. So this kind of feels a little bit more like Aries going, sure, I'll talk to you again. As in, I'll sit and I'll listen. Well, maybe you fill me in on stuff. We got the Nine of Pentacles. Look, this Aries is very content and single at the moment, but very content. I think Aries has never looked better. So I love tangerine and gold together. I think it's such a great outfit. But Aries has possibly never felt so kind of comfortable in their own skin. We also have Mastery of Cups, which would be the King of Cups, though they put a feminine on this card. I do feel like Aries has a lot of love for themselves, but Aries is definitely like an action taker when it comes to making sure that they acknowledge what their needs are. Look, Aries is not going to have an angry conversation with this person. If they're curious to hear what somebody has to say and they want to talk to this person because it's like, yeah, we never got closure. I never really got the full answer about what happened. If they have something to say, sure, I'd like to hear it. It's not going to rattle me or disrupt me. I'm whole, but yes, I'll give them my ear. This feels like there's a lot of compassion that Aries actually does have for this person, not like, oh, that liar. What are they coming in to finally tell me? This actually feels pretty generous hearted. Messenger of coins. I don't think Aries has a whole lot to say in return. I think they would just be open to hearing the full story. So Aries is not, from what I can see here, we didn't get cards of like, oh my God, I'm so glad if they reach out to me, then we can pick up this love story again. I don't see that on Aries' mind. Aries is looking at it more like we could finally have a long overdue conversation. And it would be, I would like to hear what they have to say. This is more Aries saying yes to a dialogue for their peace of mind and their interest in finding out whatever this person has to say. But this person is the one who's like, I can't come toward Aries unless I know that they're single. So that makes me think they want another do-over with Aries. Let me just ask, what are you really hoping to get out of Aries? Two of Cups. I want Aries to be mine. I want Aries to be my person. I want Aries to snuggle with me, cuddle with me, be in my arms. I want my Aries. So they're hoping that Aries will love them. The Devil and the Seven of Swords. This is tough because they're hoping Aries will love them, despite the fact that maybe they didn't tell Aries everything. This feels like they got a pretty big disclosure that they're going to have to make. Some stuff that if they weren't truthful in the past, and that was their either fear that they would lose their chance with Aries, well, they lost their chance with Aries anyway. This is them trying to get Aries back, but now they got a big old fatty story, drama that they're going to have to explain. I can see that they hope Aries will still love them or will fall for them again. And we got this Five of Swords in the reverse. What they're trying to say is, I could come in and I could tell Aries, first off, I love you, I love you, I love you. Secondly, I was pretty toxic. I didn't tell you everything I should have, but now there's no blockages. There's none of those problems. I fixed it all. Now there's no more anything that would, like in this case, tear us apart. They still kind of want to distance themselves from the problems of the past and be like, it was just other stuff that would have ruined our connection between the two of us, Aries. It was external stuff. I would disagree with that just a little bit based off of the cards that we saw. It looks kind of like this person is in their mind, maybe because in their heart they loved Aries all along. So in their mind, they're like, look, it was Aries I wanted. It was always Aries that I wanted, even if my situation was murky. I was still technically living with someone else. It wasn't a person I had emotion for. I had emotion for Aries. In their mind, they may be like basically operating off of the emotional context that was real for them instead of the hard and fast rules of, yeah, but it was still wrong. And we had that justice card. So even the universe is like, yeah, that's great. You love somebody, but you still weren't being truthful with them if you weren't being truthful with them. So you still got to make those things right. Look, I don't know if they're going to have chances necessarily to woo Aries back into their world, but this person does seem pretty determined to try. It doesn't look like whatever else happened in this kind of mess that led them to losing Aries. It doesn't look like that was something that they intended to cause Aries grief over. And it doesn't look like this person was like willfully out there, running about and trying to get with other people. It just, they didn't handle things very well. That's for sure. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Apple Holo, so great to see you, sweetheart. Lay619, wonderful to catch you. Hey, sweet. Cole Keeler, how are you, hun? Patricia Bocator, wonderful to catch you. Again, Nikki, oh, so glad to hear from you, hun. Lots of love to your daughter. Aqua Sun Moon Venus, thank you, sweetie. Right back to you. Hi, Elsa MC. So glad you're here. Hey, Catherine. Ms. Xmas. Stephanie D. Thanks again, Myra J. You were first in the house tonight. All right, you guys. My pleasure, Apple. Hello. I'll see you guys next. We're going to get to still Gemini, I think I have Scorpio and Ophiuchus, and I think now I can release probably the Sag video if I didn't already. I can't remember if I was able to release that one yet or not. All right, guys, take care. Bye for now.